Welcome back, everyone, to the Boston Boys Sports Podcast, and these are our NFL preseason power rankings. If you did not see 1 through 5, go back and check out that video. Today, we are going to give you our power rankings, NFL preseason teams 6 through 10. As always, we want to mention we are partnered with Jones and for Sports. We make sports better. Check them out Twitter, check them out on Instagram, check them out on YouTube, and also check us out. Like and subscribe our content. Leave your comments because we love to argue with people. Today, like I said, we are doing the NFL power rankings this preseason, and we are going to start things off with our man Kiefer Bontos. Who do you have in the number 6 spot, Kiefer?
So I got the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, all right. Buffalo Bills. Why? Tell us why.
Definitely lost some people, but they've got some good rookies, and Josh Allen's a great football player, man. Like you can't doubt him, and he'll carry a team right on his back. So I'm taking the Buffalo Bills at 6.
Buffalo Bills at 6. Okay, let's go right around the table here. Stevie, who do you have at 6?
All right, so at 6 for me in my NFL power rankings, I have the Houston Texans. And for all the same reasons that you guys mentioned in your top 5, it's CJ Stroud. The only reason they fell out of my top 5 is because of the sophomore potential slump, which I don't see happening, but there's always a chance. And then the Stephon Diggs issues in the locker room potentially things. So,
yeah, that is fair enough. I mean, we all know Stephon Diggs can be a cancer if he's unhappy, but still a great pick. I told Kiefer earlier when we were texting he wasn't going to have to wait long to argue with me. My number 6 team in my NFL power rankings is the San Francisco 49ers. They fell out of my top 5. On paper, this team won an NFC championship and was second ranked by both Steve and Kiefer. So it's a little low. They brought in Yetur Gross-Matos, who's a good pickup for them. Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Devondre Campbell. They still have Purdy, CMC, Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Bosa, and Ayuk. And they're a good team, so I'm not arguing that. But they dropped to 6 for me, and I have 4 reasons why. Number 1, the Brandon Ayuk drama is real. I don't care that both teams are backpedaling, and now they're saying we want to sign him. Listen, they went out and drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round, and then they picked Jacob Cowing in the 4th round. This drama is real, and it could blow up. Losing Eric Armstead and also Dre Greenlaw recovering from the Achilles, I think could be a problem. And let's be honest, number 3, the reason CMC's been healthy for 2 straight seasons. The guy in his pro career has almost 2,000 touches, and he's fast approaching that 29 age of drop-off. He'll be 28 in 4 months when this season starts. That concerns me. I don't see him having a healthy season. And number 4, and the most important point, the 49ers are just a 53-man version of Lamar Jackson. They are a regular season team, okay? And if it weren't for the 49ers, Patrick Mahomes isn't Patrick Mahomes. They had 8 separate leads in 2 Super Bowls, and they lost all of them. Okay, Patrick Mahomes is 3-1, courtesy of the 49ers, and it's because their inability to close, and that's why they dropped to 6 for me.
Oh, man. I hear a lot what you're saying. I do. I hear a lot what you're saying. But CMC's since he went there, he's had a better offensive line than when he prior years where he's been hurt. He's taking care of the body. He's taking less hits, even though he has the touches. Dude's in phenomenal shape. I'm not worried about it. Purdy was technically the number 2 ranked quarterback in the NFL last year. You don't gotta. I don't care if he's in a system that he works for the system. They've made it to I don't know, 3 NFC championships games in a row or something like that. They're a good football team, man, and to have them that low is.
You can't call a team that's made it to 2 Super Bowls the Lamar Jackson.
For real, man. Lamar,
if you don't win a title, it don't matter.
He can't
why is Tom Brady the best?
Why is Embiid? Why do people talk about Embiid? Because he can't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what's always brought up. He can't even get there. At least the 49ers have gone to the Super Bowl. Now, granted, Of course, they've lost. I understand that part of it. but Lamar Jackson's never done anything like that, so I can't compare the two.
You can't compare to Lamar.
They are the team version of Lamar Jackson. They can't get it done when the time comes. Lamar Jackson's going against the greatest quarterback. He's got to get by Pat Mahomes every year. Pat Mahomes makes him look silly just like he makes the 49ers look silly. They are 6 for me for that reason. That was a big reason for me. On paper, they're going to win the NFC West. The NFC West is a trash division, so they have a layup basically to make the playoffs every year.
You can't call Pat Mahomes the greatest after just saying he's only Pat Mahomes because of this bum team that lets him win. You can't say both things.
He's Pat Mahomes because they're choke artists. But look at his comebacks. He has 2 comebacks in 2 Super Bowls. That's why he's Pat Mahomes. If the 49ers could take care of business, he's not Pat Mahomes. He's Peyton Manning. Who's better? Who would you rather take, Peyton Manning or Pat Mahomes?
I would take Pat Mahomes.
Of course you would, even though Peyton Manning is, because he played for longer, obviously, he's ahead of Pat in virtually every stat, but Pat Mahomes wins. We're comfortable saying Pat Mahomes is better than Peyton Manning's in only like 6 or 7 seasons.
My biggest thing, and I always say it, is Peyton Manning, 4 Super Bowls, 3 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, and 3 lost fumbles.
Yeah.
In 4 Super Bowls. I mean, that's the biggest stat right there for me.
Yeah. And Pat Mahomes dices up the number 6 ranked team in my preseason power rankings. He owns the 49ers.
We'll see that. Listen, everybody that watches this and go in the comments, speak your mind, because when they end up as the number 2 best team in the NFL this year, I want Eli to hear it.
Right? Listen, they very well could, because they only have to get to the Super Bowl and they just won't win again. So I'm not worried about it. Watch Pat Mahomes dice him up again, and then I got to listen to everyone from New England the boots will really start shaking if Pat gets another one this early.
If he gets another one, it's going to be horrible.
All right.
Well, let's move on.
Let's move on to our 7th ranked team, and we're going to go right back to Kiefer. Kiefer, number 7 in your preseason power rankings.
So Steve already mentioned him. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
So now Joe Burrow coming back is the biggest factor in this. You still got Chase. It just is. That team is a really good football team, especially when Joe is under center. The dude, and now mind you, Joe Burrow's the Chiefs killer. So, so I'm down. I'm down with Joe Burrow. I really like him, and I believe they're the 8th best team. The 7th best team in the NFL.
All right. I like that pick. I do. Cincinnati, really good team. Stevie, number 7 ranked team in your preseason power rankings.
So my number 7 team in the preseason power rankings is the Green Bay Packers.
All right.
And I know you had them earlier, but it's again, the only reason they slipped is Jordan Love. We got to see, with people having tape on him, is he going to be able to perform the same way? I think he is. But just because of that little uncertainty, that's kind of why they fell there. But I'm a huge fan of Jordan Love. I think he might be the best quarterback in the NFC, to be honest with you. And I really do like that team.
I think Jordan Love's going to have a huge season this year. I think it's going to open a lot of eyes. All right. So I'm going to jump into my 7th. And because you hated San Francisco at 6, you're really going to hate at 7 the AFC East winners this year. It's the Miami Dolphins. Outside, the one thing that scares me about Miami is I don't trust Tua. Other than that, I love the Chop Robinson pick. I love the Patrick Paul pick, the offensive tackle there. After that awful performance against KC in the divisional round, they went and bolstered that defense. Jordan Poyer, Shaquille Barrett, Kendall Fuller, Jordan Brooks, Calais Campbell. They really put all their chips into the center of the table. And the reason they're not in my top 5 is that I already said it. I don't trust Tua. But they're the team to beat in the AFC East this year, and that's why they jumped to 7 for me.
Yeah, I don't argue the fact with any of that, because Tua really does scare me more than anything for that team. If Tua goes down, you got nobody behind him. So
no,
I do though, because that's a good sleeper pick.
All right, so let's move on to the number 8th ranked team. And I have just this feeling that we're all going to have the same team here. But, Kiefer, we're going to let you lead us off. Your 8th ranked team preseason power rankings. Who do you got?
I got the Green Bay Packers.
Well, we don't then.
I already didn't have them, and for all the reasons you guys said, and I don't disagree with the Jordan Love thing. I don't know if he's the best quarterback in the NFC, but this dude's top 5. So that's all I got to say about it.
All right. And Stevie, moving on to you. Who's your 8th ranked preseason power team?
All right, so 8th ranked preseason power team is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're more what they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago than they are what we saw last year. I think they'll put it together. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's good, and they have the talent. I mean, they absolutely have the firepower. I think it'll be a different season for them this year.
Okay, I'm going to topple onto it because for my 8th ranked team preseason power rankings, I did have the Philadelphia Eagles as well. They didn't have to do too much in the offseason to stay in the top 10. They went and got Saquon Barkley and Bryce Huff. They brought back Gardner Johnson as well to help in that secondary. I thought Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean were 2 great picks. I mean, both of them were first-round talents. I know DeJean dropped to the 2nd round. I loved the additions of Will Shipley, Anaya Smith, and Johnny Wilson in the late rounds of the draft. I thought that was really smart. My concern with the Eagles is the same as the Dolphins. Jalen Hurts. Which Jalen Hurts are you getting? His first 34 starts, he threw 19 picks. Last year, he threw 15. The guy's got to step up and become a leader. He's got all the firepower in the world around him. So it's this year right now, he's got to step up and be the leader of that team. I want to say like Tom Brady-esque. Tom Brady didn't really have, outside of a couple seasons, he didn't have superstar receivers, but he spread the ball around. Jalen Hurts has to tell these guys, I'm just throwing to who's open. A.J. Brown can't have his meltdown on the sidelines. You need your leader at quarterback, and this is the year for Jalen Hurts to step up and be that guy.
I agree.
All right. Round robin number 9. Who's your number 9 team? Preseason power rankings, Kiefer.
I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. So we were all
I wasn't too off. No, Jalen Hurts is the only thing. Like you said right there, he needs to be a leader. He wasn't a leader last year at all. He let things bother him that shouldn't have bothered him. You know, you got Smith on that. You got Smith out there, Brown. Just the list goes on. Saquon Barkley on that offense. Just tone it down a little bit, pay attention, and be a leader, and that's all you need to do.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Stevie, number 9, preseason power rankings.
For number 9, I have Buffalo.
All right, Buffalo.
I have Buffalo, and I know obviously they lost to Stephon Diggs. They've lost a lot on that team, actually. But I just like Kiefer said earlier, I love Josh Allen. I think he is a gamer. I know he makes mistakes, but he's asked to do so much. Mistakes are going to happen. That just comes with the territory. I think he carries that team. I think this is a big year for Sean McDermott. I think this could be he's on the hot seat. I mean, I know they win the division. I think he's on the hot seat because they're going to want to win. So I think this is a big year for him. And I think Josh Allen, he's going to continue to be in the MVP conversation. He just does what he does.
Yeah, he's the driving force to that team for sure. I don't disagree with you, though. I don't have them there. My number 9 team is the Cincinnati Bengals for all the reasons you guys said. The first 3 picks I loved. I loved that they went and got Amarius Mims. You know, Stevie's a Georgia guy. I wanted him in New England for the left tackle position. He's going to be protecting Burrow. That's if Trent Brown gets cut, which is being talked about right now. But if they can hone in on Trent Brown, if they can get him to buy into the program, we saw it here for years. He can be a monster at that position, but he's got to be in the right headspace. I love that they went and got Chris Jenkins to replace DJ Reader, and they got Jermaine Burton to replace Tyler Boyd. T. Higgins is there, but it all comes down to the motor for the car, which is Joe Burrow. If you have a healthy Joe Burrow, this team is a top 5 power rank team. The problem is if he's not healthy, Jake Browning's a fun story, but that's all it is. It's just a story. So that's why they are number 9 for me. I just want to see a healthy Joe Burrow this year. And like you said, he is the Chiefs killer. So Joe, stay healthy because I do not want to see the Chiefs. Nothing to do with the Patriots dynasty. I'm sick of the Chiefs, honestly, and I want to see someone topple the crown. And I know it's not San Francisco. Little shot right there. All right, let's round out our top 10, the number 10 ranked team in your preseason power rankings. Kiefer, who do you got?
Dallas Cowboys.
All right.
So I am not a Cowboys fan by any stretch of the means, but that offense is out of control. You got CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. Just the defense isn't bad. you got Micah Parsons on the other side controlling stuff. Like I really like the Cowboys. Don't think they're going to win in any playoff games. Just like you say, Lamar Jackson. You're not gonna win a lot of playoff games. You're not gonna see him win the Super Bowl. But yeah, they're my 10th team.
All right, Stevie, who do you got at number 10 for your preseason power rankings?
All right, preseason power ranking number 10. I have a surprise, and it's the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
I love what they've done this offseason. They brought in a rookie quarterback, and they made sure that they had everything they needed for that rookie quarterback. And he's got every opportunity to win. And I'm not the biggest fan, but I love the way they spent. I love the way they drafted. I love everything they did. And this might be just more of a hopeful thing. And clearly I'm not a Chicago Bears fan, but I almost feel bad for their fans, for their fan base. It's just been so bad. They've never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards, which is still shocking. Like I'm not rooting for them because I'm a Patriots fan, but I'm rooting for them because I want to see something good happen.
So if you look at everything that's popped up, they consider the Bears the number one, like, quarterback and receiver duos and stuff like that. The list that they have is stuff you don't always see, especially with the potential you have from these rookies. So you're not too far off on it, I don't think, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll say this. I'll go with my 10th ranked team for the preseason power rankings. Spoiler alert. I wish I had the balls to pick the Bears because I didn't even – and again, spoiler alert, I didn't even put them in my top 15, and I wanted to because I want them to be good. I'm with you. I want them to be so good that the Patriots look at what they did and think, this is the way to do it. I wish I did. I'm on the same page as Kiefer with this one. I have the Dallas Cowboys as well. And first things first to the Lead and Boys crew, it's not your year. But they do round out my top 10, and it's not because I'm a believer. It's more indicative of the teams behind them than it is the teams in front of them. You made the top 10 because realistically, I don't think anyone outside of the top 9 are actually true contenders to win. I think I draw the line at Cincinnati. Outside of drafting Tyler Guyton at the offensive tackle position, I didn't understand their draft. I didn't get where they were going. Especially their second-round pick, Marshawn Newland. And I just thought it was a waste of a pick. You have Lawrence and you have Micah Parsons. And then I don't want to besmirch the good name of Western Michigan, but it's a small school. His best season, he had 4.5 sacks. I don't understand that pick at all. It was a wasted pick. Their big free agent move, as far as I'm concerned, was replacing Tony Pollard with a older Ezekiel Elliott. So, I mean, why do they make my top 10? Same reason for Kiefer. You got Dak, you got Lamb, you got Cooks, you got Lawrence, Parsons, Diggs, Bland. They have a good old line. But I don't think they're a true contender one bit. They'll make the playoffs probably as a wild card team. But, again, my top 9 are the teams I think that can win. So that rounds out
I think you went a little soft on that. I mean, you called the 49ers the Lamar Jackson of teams. I would argue Dallas. I mean, they've 12 wins every single year. I
wouldn't argue with that one bit. I mean, there's more than one team in the NFL that is Lamar Jackson, 50. If you I get you can only one team wins every year. I just think Shanahan is a crap in his pants coach when it comes to big games. So I don't necessarily blame the players as much as I do. We know who was involved with the Atlanta Falcons in that 28-3 debacle. Shanahan calling offensive plays. All you have to do is run the ball. The guy craps his pants in big moments, and that's why I called San Francisco the Lamar Jackson. If you can't get it done, as I said before, I hate to go back to San Francisco. They had 8 separate leads in 2 Super Bowls. So to have 8 separate leads and let them all run away from you to Kansas City, they have built Pat Mahomes' legacy. I mean, Pat Mahomes stands on a body of 53 San Francisco 49ers to get to this legacy. He couldn't get past Tom Brady when he was with the Patriots. He lost to Tom Brady when Tom Brady was with the Bucs, and he couldn't get past Joe Burrow, a healthy Joe Burrow. His legacy stands atop the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan.
Can't argue that part.
So that is our rounding out. We have, like I said, go back and watch episode 1 where we do 1 through 5, so you're all caught up. This was episode 6 through 10. We're going to do the same thing we did last night. Kiefer, just quickly give us 6 through 10.
So 6 through 10 had the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, 8 at Green Bay, 9 at Philly, 10 at Dallas.
All right, so